bad boy, Peter Lord.
Such a player.
Maxwell Lord.
Maxwell Lord.
Maxwell Lord.
Peter Facinelli.
Peter Facinelli, Maxwell Lord, you know.
Maxwell Facinelli.
Max Fac. Do either of you think that he's a good match for either of your characters?
Ooh. He's a tricky one. I don't know. It's kind of funny reading the script, though, with the flirtation with Kat. It's kind of like, oh, wait a minute. He's flirting with me. I don't know. So, Peter's great. He's a lot of fun to work with. He really is. So, it's one of those things. I know for Alex and Max, it was very cat and mouse. Went back and forth. I like to think that he likes her more than she likes him, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. Staying strong.
And Calista, do you think that he could handle the Queen of All Media?
I do actually. I just like it that he's a little bit older. And he's the smartest man in National City, which helps. And I think we had a past, and I think that he may have broken Kat's heart a little bit. So I like that little bit of I like it that it's just a mystery, but I think he'll probably end up with Alex. Yeah. I mean, in a good way. I just don't. I think he's.
Or Win, unless Win is gay.
Right.
Win
gets them all.
Or maybe Maxwell's gay, really. Ooh. I mean, it could be. I don't know. I have no idea. I just, I like Peter a lot, so it would be really fun.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's a cool guy. He's great.
So,
Peter Facinelli, guys.
Yeah. Greg, first of all, congratulations on the birth of your baby boy.
Thanks.
Yeah. Now, out of the 2.5 billion shows that you have on TV right now, I feel like Supergirl is the most family-friendly. Now, as a new father yourself, how does that change the way that you're thinking about the content that you're creating for TV?
Well, I like to think that I kind of, even before I was a dad, thought about it in those ways. I mean, TV was a very familial experience when I was a kid. We all really did gather around, for all the young people here. In the old days, when Calista and I were growing up, we would gather around the TV and watch it with our family, and now everybody sort of watches it in very isolated places. But we always try and make television that has something for, especially these kind of shows. The books were like that, and that's just being true, I think, to the comic books themselves. They were, there was something inspiring about them for everyone. I think what's been so delightful about this particular show, and it's always unique with everyone, is just how much of you're seeing on the screen and you guys are experiencing every week of the goodness of these people who are playing the characters. And that's very inspirational for us to write to. But unless that lines up, I mean, TV is also a very revealing thing. I think if the people aren't genuinely kind of in some way or form the characters that they're portraying, and they don't have that kind of inherent goodness in them, I'm not certain that it wouldn't come through in the way that it does. And I think that's part of what makes this such a family show, is that it really has that element. And it's, they're all characters that you kind of want your kids to grow up to be.
That's a great answer.
And of course, we can't leave without talking about that super suit. Because, Jeremy, good job on that one. You sewed that like a true pro. Nicely done. But for everyone, when you see Melissa in the Supergirl suit, interacting with little kids, what is that like? What do you see when you... I'm just so excited.
It's a pretty magical thing.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, again, kind of going back to my daughters, it's just so relevant to me, but also like just being close to Melissa at this point. When my middle, she's 9, when she came up and saw Melissa, I mean, she just about fell over. And it's just, it's just the idea of so many of the shows that she's watching. I have a 12-year-old son too, so it's like we have this whole comic book thing in our house. So, but it's so many of the shows, a lot of it's those guy superheroes, and my daughters love their little Supergirl figurines and Wonder Woman figurines and all those things. They love it. So to see her walk up and in that costume and just she owns it. There's just something about it. that she just owns it, and it really did, like, my daughter's eyes just completely lit up. And any kids that have come to the set, I guess I bring the kids up because it is that magical quality about it, but any kids that we've had come to set just see her, and it's like beeline straight towards her. She just embodies that strength and that power, but then there's also that grace, and there's just that lovely, lovely quality that Melissa just emanates all the time anyway. But, you know, it's pretty interesting to see people respond to it the first time. It's pretty cool.
We have to acknowledge also Colleen Atwood, Academy Award-winning costume designer, and her amazing and brilliant, our own costume designer for our series, Kirsten Roning, who just has done the most spectacular.
Melissa, do you still have that like moment when you put it on every day?
Not putting it, it got pretty routine putting it on, and I definitely felt like it became sort of a second skin. The reaction never, I can never anticipate what that feels like. It's what I think the common denominator is most of the children, like the little girls and boys that I've met in it, they're so shocked at first, and then I think the S just has an effect on people, and after a while they all break out of their shell. And like your daughter was so shy, and then after 15 minutes I was hearing about all the games she plays with her Barbies, and I was like totally into it, and I was like, yeah, well this is how I play with my Barbies. And like, it's just so, I've been so privileged to get like, have these little snippets to get to know all these amazing kids that are so inspired by the S.
Yeah, that's great.
All right, Allie and Greg, we've had so many vicious villains on this show so far. We've had Bizarre, we've had Reaction, we've had Livewire. Which villain was the most challenging to bring from script to screen?
Oh, that's a really good question. I mean, I'm so excited about tomorrow night's episode that you guys are actually going to preview here tonight, because the villain, that was directed so beautifully by Larry Tang.
Larry Tang! Larry Tang! Where you at, buddy?
But for me, the greatest villain we've had is Melissa Benoist.
Oh my gosh, it's so true.
Who is affected by red kryptonite and just becomes another character.
It's so true.
So, I mean, we all have our favorites. I mean, I love Indigo, and I love Astra is incredible. But for me, the episode you're about to see tonight is thrilling.
I have to say, I kind of wished that it had lasted for like 3 episodes.
I didn't. She wasn't very nice. I didn't really like it.
Well, who's still on your bad guy bucket list for all of you guys? Which villain are you hoping to see
In seasons to come?
in seasons to come? Yeah.
Well, I mean, there are some incredible ones, and we'll just get them to peel them out for us at DC. But, I mean, we're asking the world, and they are being very accommodating. So in seasons to come, we will have to see what happens.
Well done.
We also had another Twitter question, and it's from Cara and Alex, 5 ever, because apparently 4 ever is not long enough.
It's not long enough.
They said, ask Melissa and Kyler about their bond and what they think about the beautiful Alex-Cara relationship.
I can't say too much because like
We'll lose her.
from day one, I can't say enough good things about this lovely lady right here. And it truly is a sisterhood. That's as simple as that.
It's one of those, you know, being in the business, and I'm sure we can all attest to it, that you never really know what you're going to get. As far as cast, as far as any aspect of it, you just you're going to very immediately come into a family situation with the people that you work with 16 hours a day, every day. Like you're going to get close in one way or another, and so you never really know what you're going to get. And meeting Melissa was, I think, short of meeting my husband, meeting Melissa was probably the most powerful relationship I've ever felt from an artistic standpoint, but she is literally one of the most genuine people I have ever met.
Yeah.
She is what I think,
She really is like this. Like,
She is. Like,
this
she really
is who
is.
she is at 4 in the
is.
morning or at 7 in the morning. She's
Yes.
so filled with energy and light, and you want to get to know her, and that's how we felt, and that's what we love to bring to you guys.
Yeah. And it really has been an incredible journey, from the get-go, from figuring it out day one, going, what am I doing and am I going to get fired? to really just even the very last scenes that we have together. I mean, I love working with her. She inspires me. She's an incredible woman. She's so much stronger than I could ever imagine. And she just has such an incredible gift, and I love her to pieces.
Too. I think we have this thing on set now too, where it's like almost like
It's
I
hard.
can just look at her, or like we'll just like share a little like this or something if we're doing a tough scene, which we do a lot of them. We cry a lot.
A lot. Cry a lot.
But I think there's just this thing going on.
It's real, baby.
Well, you guys talk a little bit more about what life is like on the Supergirl set. How do you pass the time when you're not flying around saving National City?
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans. Yeah.
Shenanigans.
Yeah. Eating contests.
What? Those
Well,
are
Allie always
instigated.
wins. Allie always wins.
Nights.
We have a blast. We really, I don't.
We just talk.
There's not a bad egg in the bunch. There really isn't. Everybody's
very
just
lucky.
excited about what we're doing, and we have a lot of fun together. And sometimes it's really hard to take each other seriously.
Right.
A lot of times actually, but we do. We have
I
a
think
blast.
we've done a pretty good job of like, as the camera stops and we'll continue the joke that we were telling, and then the camera starts rolling. It's like, okay, serious, and then the camera's like, okay, this.
It's like constant laughter, and then they say action, and we're like, hey, Cara. Thank you so much. It's kind of crazy.
David, who was kind of notorious for
Yeah.
making faces at you when he's not on camera, and you got to keep it real, and
Yeah.
he's making faces at you. It's a challenge.
Yeah, you kind of too, actually, a little bit. Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
There are
it's
certain
lovely,
there
lovely.
are certain areas of the set though that I think are more prone to
There's one room.
craziness. Well, the Super Friends
Super Friends
office
office.
is like after 6 hours becomes a padded room. It should have padded walls. And the DEO we get pretty kooky in there. Didn't we say at first that there should be we decided Hank maybe loved Harry Belafonte and might have had a shrine.
Deo should be our theme tune.
We have plans. We have plans for what goes down next.
We just have a
And a shout out to our awesome crew as well.
Oh my God.
And set design.
Who just continue to come up with these incredible designs, incredible sets. And as I say, sometimes you go to work and you say, when was this built? It's just this whole Kryptonian cell, and it's and makeup too. Everyone really brings their A game.
Blessed.
And
Blessed.
stunts and visual
Been
effects. It's
some
like no
stunning stuff.
area is less than super, and
Right.
it would show if it wasn't. Just people who spend all this time and passion away from their spouses and children, and it's really an amazing crew.
It is.